Alright everyone, welcome to the first semi-final. We're live at the Manurewa Cosmopolitan. I'm Brett DeFaria, joined by Patrick O'Donnell. This is the Clubs New Zealand 8-ball singles semi-final. We've got Ceri Worts about to break against Steve Wild. And the other table we have Adam Liley, young Adam Liley, playing out of Papanui. He is playing Steve Denton, who we just saw win his last quarter-final match. Welcome Patrick.
Yeah, thanks Brett. Really excited about this game. Ceri right up there as one of the best players in New Zealand, and all four of these players playing really well. So they have to be, as you said earlier, 260 as Ceri goes in off there and off the break.
So Steve will come to the table with ball from the D, and he'll have his choice of whether to opt for solids or stripes or bigs or littles. Steve Wild's had a great tournament so far. He's always there or thereabouts. He's had a couple of good results in recent years, but Steve's been around the circuit a long time, and although some people wouldn't favour him to have gone this far or to have a chance against Ceri in the semi-final, I certainly think that Steve will give this a good run.
Yeah, good shot. As Adam just ran out the first rack in his semi-final, so that puts him 1-0 up. Yeah, and I was just saying before, Brett, like you said during that quarter-final match, 260 plus players in this event down to 4, so they're all playing really well.
Yeah, give each of these players their dues. They've it's a marvellous achievement just to get this far, and to the two that carry on and get through to the championship final. It's going to take something special, I feel, and well, just out of shot, Adam Liley's taken the first frame, as you said, with a beautiful break and clear against Steve Denton. That's the way to stamp your mark on the semi-final. So you've got three guys in there, I don't want to say senior years, but they're all 40 plus. And you've got young Adam Liley, all have just turned 18 years old, I think. So, marvellous accomplishment so far, and let's see if he can kick on. In the meantime, Steve Wild with a great back double on the 5.
So we'll have a new champion this year, folks. None of these players have taken out the Clubs New Zealand national singles title before. Really exciting times for these players, and also nerve-wracking times. Won't want to make a mistake here.
Exciting times for the sport as well, Patrick. There's so many top players, obviously, but in recent years we've been dominated in both the pairs and the singles by players like Phil Wilkinson, Matt McInnes, Glenn Coots and the like. Not saying there's a changing of the guard quite yet, but those players not featuring in the Final Four, which is pretty rare. You usually see one of those guys here at this stage of the tournament. Ceri Worts has been to this stage before, to the quarterfinals a few times at Nationals, but hasn't been to the big dance, and he'll be eager to get to the final and stake his claim for the 2016 singles title this year. Ceri, quite an unorthodox cue action, but don't let that fool you. He is one of the best in the country. Represented New Zealand at 9-ball. He's won plenty of titles, and he knows all the shots in the book.
Yeah, absolutely. Great player, and for those of you that joined the broadcast for the Pairs final, you would have seen Ceri participating in that. Went down 5-1, I think it was.
Yes, they did, Patrick, as him and his partner Jason Pickles, but they didn't play poorly. Baden, Jackson and Simon on the Tuesday just played incredibly. That was an amazing final played by Simon and Baden, and they thoroughly deserved their win. To be honest, I think they would have beaten anyone the way they played in that final on Tuesday. And Ceri on the 9 here to the side, screwing back. And just opting to... He's got options now, 12 to the middle. As I mentioned on Tuesday, folks, if you want to learn a bit more about Ceri Worts, he's one of the few players you'll be able to Google, throw his name into your Google, and you'll get a whole host of video feeds and different things come up. And you can see a bit more about what Ceri's about. He's also New Zealand's top, one of the few really, trick shot cueists in New Zealand. I know one shot I've seen him execute where he strikes one strike of the cue ball and pots 14 balls with a single stroke.
That would have come in handy earlier today for him, I bet.
Well, no, Patrick, but I'm just trying to give the man his dues. He's very, very talented. Just asking one of the spectators to move out of his line of sight there. And Ceri on the 10. All right, so he's deliberately stopped that a little bit short of the 14 so he can cut the 14 to the side and run the white ball into the 7 and the 8 to free them up, and then play the 11 back to the adjacent corner or bottom left corner as we look.
Yeah, had to do something about the black. The 11 not the problem to get on it, but after the 11 I don't think the black would pass unless he can bring it out. Let's see if he can do that.
Here we go, using the white ball. Played it well, but 7 balls now hampered him on the 11, and he's going to have to play across table. So again, I reiterate, he was trying to run the white into the black and the 7 to free up the 7, free up the black rather. So it wasn't a careless, it was deliberate. He's just left a bit to chance. He did need to get a bit of luck there, but hasn't come his way, and now he's going to have to play across table for the 11.
Yeah, he's played that really well too. Left that 11 onto the corner pocket. The 7 will be blocking it.
Great shot from Ceri there. Now Steve, I played Steve earlier today, and he knows how to handle these situations. He'll just be probably just bringing the 7 out and restricting Ceri's shot on the 11 ball, remembering that he can't snooker him. So he won't be able to run the white down the bottom of the table. Well, if he does, and he misses, he will leave Ceri a free ball.
Meanwhile, on the other table, Steve Denton has just hit back. Great clearance of his own in the second frame to level up 1-1 with Adam Liley.
Nice shot there from Steve. He's going to go for the big double on the 4 here. No, and he's having another look. Just looking at where he wants to be, what he can come up with. Yeah, I think you'll find that semi-final between Adam Liley and Steve Denton will be a bit of a pop fest. Both players like to play very open, go for the clearances. Ceri, very similar as well. 3 South Island players left, and Steve Wild at the table now. He's the only North Island player left, and although he hasn't executed that shot well, I feel that Steve's just got a little bit of an advantage over the other 3 because he will play the tactics a little bit better. But we'll see if that even comes into play in this match with Ceri. Ceri looks like he's nominating the 7 ball as a free ball, but this is fought with danger. Could block his path to the black if the 11 goes in. Doesn't want to snooker himself. I think he's changing. He's opting for the 8. And this is still a tricky shot. He's going to try and take the black as a free ball because he's snookered. Run the white off the cush and into the 7, so he's on the 11 after he pots the black. Let's see how he goes here. Yeah. Nicely played. The black will come back on the spot. That was his free ball. Now he's just got to transition from the 11 to the 8 ball.
Yeah, and in a good position to do that from here as well, Brett.
Yep. He's should be well in control of this one. Just a dinky little shot on the 11. Play the black back into the middle pocket. He may opt to run down the rail, but I think he'll play the little dinky little screw back. Yeah, just a little poke there, and he'll be on the black to the side here. So for the first frame in our feature semi-final here, just composing himself. Ceri Worts for 1-0 in the semi. Just up from the shot there, just resettles himself. It's there. Nice finish from Ceri. First frame. Adam Liley on a third consecutive run out here. Is it there, the black? Oh! I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, we've just switched over to the Adam Liley Steve Denton game. We're not trying to confuse you, but that was Adam Liley for a third consecutive clearance. It would have been. The players got one each in the first two frames. Adam's coming perilously close to doing it for a third consecutive frame. Steve Denton, a lot of work to do here. Black sitting pretty over that corner pocket. Can Steve do anything with this here?
Yeah, that 9 ball looks to be Steve's biggest issue there. Not sure if that comes down into the side pocket. It might just do.
Oh, if it does, I think he'll look at chipping it in now. He could always leave it to the end. He's playing the 13 to the side. Yeah, he's come back for the 9. Great shot. Although Steve doesn't like it, the reason being he's just a little bit straight on it. Although he can chip it in, he's probably going to have to leave himself queuing off the rail. Unless he's sort of a little bit of a tricky shot here. And he's played it well. And he's given himself a bit of angle here on the 10 ball to the side to get up on these last two remaining balls. The right-hand corner pocket, as we look, is obviously blocked by the 8. Just going to have to run this 10 ball in the middle. Force it through with a bit of top spin. Get on the 15. Sorry, the 12, folks. Computer's playing tricks on me now, Pat.
Good, that makes me feel better.
Don't. I'm sure you'll make another mistake before we're out tonight. Big shot here, 1-1. Can Steve get position? Oh, he's okay. I fear he's run a little bit too far. He may have to take this. Yes, he's going to have to take the 14 ball first. One nice shot here. Is it there? It's there.
Wow, what a great shot, Brett. What a great shot under pressure.
Yeah, it was a nice shot. And there's no pressure. Well, I say there's no pressure, but no position required with black over the hole. So he's just got to pop this, which he's done. And Adam, as good a clearance as that was, it just shows you've got to put him away. It's great recovery from Steve, and 2-1 to Steve. Will cut back to our other semi-final between Ceri Worts and Steve Wild. Ceri Worts at the table. Ceri not liking his shot options here. Ceri is on the stripes or bigs as we look. He's opting to play the 15 in the side. Yeah, bit of a mistake there from Ceri. I think he was just trying to force the cue ball into the rail and out for the 13, but he just didn't have the angle for that and was always going to run into that too. Now what can he come up with, Pat?
Yeah, no, he's left himself a tricky shot here. Looking at the 11 for the double. White ball will come back around off 2 rails in between the 1 and the 6. The 10 back in the side pocket. Tough shot, but Ceri is a master of these types of situations.
Yeah, I don't think
doesn't like it.
That 11 won't double between the 6 and the 1. Again, camera angle's a little bit deceiving. He's going to opt for the 12. Sorry, Pat. You were talking about that back double on the 11 to the middle, but Ceri's opted just to bring that 12 up the top of the table and restrict Steve's initial start here, which he's done there. He's left the cue ball, you can see there as we look top right corner, and really only given Steve a bit of a sniff at the 2 ball up the rail. Unfortunately for Ceri, his 12 ball that he's knocked off the rail has come up and is now hampered by the 6. So Steve's got basically almost a free shot on this 2 ball. Probably doesn't want to pot it, just wants to lay this one up over the corner hole nicely. How you looking, Mr. Wild? He's played it with a bit of pace, overhit it, but it's okay. I think he's okay there, Pat.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think he'll be too disappointed missing that shot. He has left Ceri a starting ball here. but it's going to be very difficult for Ceri to run out the rack from here with that 10 in the position it's in.
Yeah, 10 and the 12, mate. I mean, Ceri can float the 11 to the side, or the top middle pocket as we look, and get on the 10 ball.
Sorry, I meant the 12 there. The blue and the purple playing havoc with with my calling here.
I told you it wouldn't take long. So, again, Ceri may opt for, he's going for the 12 off the cush, off the 6, and maybe trying to get a bit of coverage over that corner hole and mess up Stevie's 6 here. He doesn't want it to go in. It is a great shot, folks. Absolute master at those sort of shots.
Ceri supporters standing behind us here, Brett, and they like that shot.
Yeah,
why wouldn't they?
It was a great shot. Steve's still got a little bit of coverage with it. I know the 13 goes to the middle, but he's got a little bit of coverage with the 2 blocking the 13. So I'm not sure whether the thoughts crossed his mind to perhaps just feather the 1 and try and force Ceri on that 6 ball, on the 12 ball rather. Yeah, nice shot, Steve. Just restricting Ceri's shot. He's deliberately played off that 2 ball. Not sure if Ceri can get to this 11. If he can, we know what shot he'll be playing. That back double we spoke about, Pat.
We're just told Steve Denton broke and cleared the 4th frame against Adam, putting himself up 3-1.
So just to reiterate how that second semi-final's going, there's been 4 frames of pull, 3 have been 8-ball clearances from the first visit, and 1 frame where Adam potted out and laid the black over the hole, which we saw, and Steve ran the rack. So as you can see, doesn't take much, no chances, minimal chances are afforded to each player, especially at this stage of a tournament.
And that's a bit different to what we saw from Steve in that quarter-final just earlier, Brett.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Pat, it was more about the player, the type of player that Steve was playing. Dennis, a little bit more tactical, likes to be a bit more controlling, so he sort of had to slow down a little bit to make sure he didn't give Dennis any chances in that game. All right, Stevie's at the table now. He's opted to go for the big finish. 2 in the corner. He's on the 1. Be playing the 1 for the 6. Oh, well, it's not a bad miss, Steve. He might not be happy, but it's not a bad miss. Ceri tried to back double his 11 earlier. It's kicked the black, and the 11's gone a little bit awkward on the side here. And Steve now has a worker. Ceri's got his 12 over the top left corner as we look. Steve Wild has the 1 ball bottom left corner as we look. Ceri needs to do something with his 13.
Looking for the double here.
We didn't even have to think about that, and it's probably going to be there. No.
Whoa.
Well, he does miss doubles.
Bit of a gasp from the crowd who are not used to seeing that from Ceri this week.
Probably say, hand on heart, that Ceri's the best doubler in the country, is he not?
He's pretty good, that's for sure.
Let's see how good Steve Wild's double is. If he doubles a 6 in the middle, I see him taking this frame. It's there. It's there.
Oh,
great shot,
Steve
Wild.
Steve Wild. Big shot.
Come on, Stevie.
2 onto the 1 here for the easy finish onto the black.
Yeah, he played it well. Played it well. Just got to skid off this one down the rail. And black ball to the side pocket for 1 all. Yeah, very nicely played. And Steve will be 1 all with Ceri in a matter of seconds.
Brett, that must ease the nerves a little bit for Steve Wild.
Yes, Pat, look, Steve's been to quarterfinals, semi-finals, but again, as mentioned before, same as Ceri, hasn't been to the big dance for the New Zealand title. He's been playing well all day. All these players deserve a shot at the title. Personally, probably just barracking for Steve there, Pat, because he's the only North Islander left. Maybe we can Adam Liley as well, seeing as though he's from Taranaki, but he's representing the Papanui club.
Yeah, Adam, of course, playing for the South Island in the North versus South match last night. Won by the North.
Just to reiterate that, the North-South match was won by the North Island.
All 4 of these players in action during that match.
All right, we've got Steve Denton at the table here. He currently leads Adam Liley 3-1. And he's rolling that. He's missed that, but he's done enough to cover Adam's shot to the corner. Adam taps his cue on the table. An acknowledgement of Steve's shot there because it's cut out Adam's options. Although with Steve's one of Steve's set back down on the bottom rail or the left-hand side of the table as we look, Adam may look at running the 2 ball straight across the head rail and dislodging that 14 out of the hole, and maybe trying to put the 2 ball in front of that 14 ball, sort of similar to what Ceri did earlier against Steve Wild. Right, here's Adam Liley on the 2 ball. He's going to play it with a bit of pace, is he? Or is it just the way he's cueing? Yeah. He's tried the shot that I suggested, but it hasn't paid off.
Hasn't quite got there. It's really opened the door for Steve here.
It has, but again, he's still got to work down table, but he's got that coverage now. And at 3-1 up, you'd suspect that he will go for the kill here, Pat. Lovely shot from Steve Denton, although it's okay, he would have liked a little bit of angle.
Yeah, pulls back nicely. Doesn't really need to do a lot with this. He's got the 9 down the rail onto the 14. He's also got the 13 past the black down into the opposite corner pocket.
Yeah, the risk with playing the 13 after this ball is then you'd have to take the 13 next unless you're going to choose to double that. Take the 9 next rather, and then double the 13. So which way is he going to go? Right, while Steve's cueing that one across the rail, which is slotted, we'll just dive back over to Steve Wild, who's on a clean up here against Ceri Worts. He's on the 9 ball. Big shot coming up for Steve. It's there. Really nice shot from Steve.
Yep, he's played that really well, given himself an angle to come off the bottom rail back in behind the 15.
He's a little bit straight, but I'm sure he can get the cue ball to where he wants, which is probably on that second left-hand diamond as we look. So the little studs across the black of the cushion, second from the left. Let's see if he can get the white to about there, or if he's going to try and screw it back. Might be screwing back for the middle pocket here. Yep. Oh, he's got a big pocket down inside the 4, if he wants it to. Or does it only pass to the middle? This is a big shot, folks. Oh,
wow.
Unlucky.
Open the door for Ceri here, and opening the door for Ceri is always dangerous.
We'll just switch back now to Steve Denton, who's managed to make that shot that Pat suggested, and he's got himself perfect on the 13 ball. And one good shot here from Steve to get position on the black, and he'll be through to the final. Be our first finalist this year. It's there, and he's screwed into the black. One nice shot here from Steve Denton, and he's in the final. You back him to get this one.
Yep. Goes down pretty quickly to play it.
It's
and
there.
Slots it.
Steve
Absolutely
Denton's in the
great
final.
shot.
We'll cut back to Steve Wild and Ceri Worts. So Steve Wild went for the big finish. He just come unstuck on his last shot, and Ceri Worts at the table now. Big frame here at 1-1.
Congratulations to Adam Liley there. Semi-finalists of the Nationals at 18. Huge effort from Adam.
Yeah, he's done the club proud, his new club proud, and look, I've seen a lot of his games today, Pat, and he's been queuing wonderfully. So, speaking of queuing wonderfully,
look at that for positional play, folks.
Pretty well spot on. Yeah, nicely played from Ceri. Yeah, 2-1.
That 15's proved to be a big miss from Steve. 2-frame swing there, folks.
Yeah, Steve had played that clearance very nicely too. It was a tough 15. He sort of had to force it to the middle to make sure he had position on the black. He's not going to go away though, folks. Just while we're waiting for Steve Wild to break this next frame, we'll try and get an update of the flight final being played by Sam Newman and Marino Harpy. Just been played out a shot. Back at the feature table, Steve Wild to break. Nice, clean break. Can he get something down? He does. The 3-ball to the corner. Doesn't like the layout. Little shake of the head, but he's still at the table. That's the main thing.
Not quite sure why he doesn't like the layout there, Brett. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks very inviting.
I like the little balls here.
Yeah, definitely.
Two on that rail, everything else out in the open. Black almost over the pocket there.
Nice start from Steve. Okay, update in that flight final between Marino Harpy and Sam Newman. It's come down to the wire. It's 2-all, first to 3. We'll let you know who gets over the line in that one. In the meantime, Steve Wild on the 5. Swinging it around off 2 rails. Oh, he's held for the 4 to the middle. That's very nicely done. All right, Pat, how do you see this run out here, mate?
Well, it's looking like the 2 next.
4, it's still the 4.
Oh, well.
Got you again.
The 4 next, yeah, he did that on purpose.
All right,
everyone.
4 to the 7, folks. 4 to the 7.
And he's got on
lovely,
it really
lovely shot.
nicely.
All right, Steve Wild, 7 to the side.
Stop shot on the 2 for the 1.
Yep, or he may be able to run it up the rail nicely and hold, but he might have to play that stop shot, Pat. Let's see. Yeah, you wouldn't want to play this slowly and get stuck behind that 15. I think he's going to have to play one nice stop shot up the line, and then he's got a nice 1 for the black. Don't jaw it. He's thinking about rolling it. No, he's opting for the stun. Here we go. Stop shot on the 2. Plug it away, Steve Wild. It's there.
Oh,
great shot under pressure at 2-1 down from Mr. Wild.
That stop shot, just stopping the white ball dead rather than letting it roll through and snooker himself.
Just got to
make sure really good one.
That's right, just got to make sure he avoids the kiss on the 11 here. He's done that, and it's a great finish from Mr. Wild here. This is great to watch, folks. These guys have been good all day, and we've seen 3 or 4 or 5 clearances in the other semi-final, and some great shots been played in this semi-final, and now a clearance from Steve Wild. Well done, and we're back at 2-all. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, both players playing so well here. It could just come down to 1 or 2 crucial misses to decide who wins this match. Alternatively, it could come down to 1 or 2 big clearances.
Yeah, certainly won't take much. Some of these players, you've got to remember, have got through 4 or 5 matches today. Some of them only by 4 frames to 3. So they may have had a little luck go their way or pulled off a big shot in a crucial frame, or the crucial last frame.
Ceri wrecking his own balls here. Trying to get those balls nice and tight.
Tight balls are always good, Pat.
I like them that way.
referring to the break, of course. If one of the balls, especially when the front three isn't in contact with all of the others surrounding it, can cause for a loose rack, and when you strike the white ball or cue ball into the pack, you don't get a nice clean spread. So Ceri racking the balls himself to ensure that he's happy. They're all touching.
Ceri going through that same routine that he does, frame in, frame out. Every time he breaks, same routine.
You may notice the white ferrule, plastic ferrule on Ceri's cue there. He's playing with what's more commonly referred to as a American pool cue or a 9-ball cue with a bigger tip, as opposed to the conventional 8 or 9 mil tipped pool and snooker cues like the one Mr. Wild has in his hands as he comes to the table. So a dry break there from Ceri and Steve Wild. Wow, what an opportunity here for Steve, Pat.
Yeah, it certainly is. And why does Ceri use that different tip, Brett?
You'd have to ask him to be sure, Pat, but I think you'll find that Ceri plays a lot of 9-ball, a lot of snooker and 8-ball, and just uses the one cue. He even uses that on the snooker table.
Wow.
All right, Steve Wild claiming smalls. He's taking the 3. 6-ball to the middle looks like his next shot selection. Yes, it's going to be. So the 5-ball's just going to cause him a little bit of trouble, but everything else is nice and pretty here, Pat. Nice shot there from Steve. So he's just got to get onto this 5-ball. He might even be on it now as he plugged this gap between the 12 and the 11. He's having a look. He's going to leave it. He's going to come back to it. All right, Steve Wild on the 7.
Plays down for the 1 nicely there. I'll screw back here, back onto the 2, back in that side pocket.
Yeah, nice control there from Steve. Beautifully out for the 2.
And you'll notice how I called the 2 correctly there as well, folks.
Yeah, you've been watching me commentate, Pat.
Yep.
All right, Steve Wild, 2 to the side. He looks focused.
Got to get the nice angle on the 5 here. Looks pretty good.
Tell you what, he's perfect on it, and he can just float this up to the corner, and he'll be on the 4. Probably wants to come off the rail a little bit and make that last transition from the 4 to the 8 a bit easier. But doesn't want to put any added pressure on this 5-ball. Big shot here from Steve in the context of this match. And he's missed it. Yeah, as I said, Pat, he didn't want to just roll it in and leave himself on the rail, so he opted to play with a bit of pace, which obviously makes the shot a bit trickier, but he was perfect on that 4.
And as with that 3rd frame, we saw 1 miss from Steve, and Ceri can clean up. Let's see what he can do here.
That's right. Well, can Ceri do the damage again? 12-ball to the side. It's there. 15 ball's a tricky one, but he'll play the 9 inside the 4 and potentially free up that pocket. You can see there, folks, that he was just checking his shirt. He didn't want his clothing to touch the 4-ball, which is just hanging over that corner pocket, top left as we look. Any piece of clothing, or if any part of your body comes in contact with a ball, it is a foul. As minor as the contact may be. Could be as minimal as the hair on your arm touching a ball. There's a referee sitting there watching intently, and front of your arm here has managed to come in contact with the ball, doesn't move it, still a foul. Ceri with a nice 14 to the side. He's come back out for the 11. He's there.
Yeah, great position as always from Ceri.
Still interested to see how he's going to get through to this 15 ball here, Pat. It'll be the 11 now, I feel, for the 13, unless he opts to use the 9 now inside the 4. This match been refereed by Trevor Higginson. Yeah, Ceri's opted to go for the 11 for the 9. big shot coming up here, Pat.
Yeah, hasn't got the perfect angle.
What he's opting here for, guys, is the 9. He's going to try and play the 9 off the cush, off the 4 to free the pocket, and float the white back across table for the 11. He hasn't got it right. Although, has he got away with it? Can Steve clip this 5 in? I don't think he can.
I think you'll find that's a 13 ball on the rail there too.
No, not quite played for, but I think he's... Yeah, well, just had Dan Bowen in my ear saying that Steve Wild knows how to cut a ball. He obviously made some good ones against Dan.
Yeah, Dan, the current South Island Clubs New Zealand champion, put out by Steve Wild earlier in the competition, along with a number of big names, including yourself, Brett, that Steve's knocked over today.
Yep, look, Steve's been playing well. A little bit underrated on the club scene, I think, and he's got a good chance here to make his maiden final. Can he clip this 5 in? Oh, it's there. It's there. Where's the white? Where's the white? He's okay. He's okay. Dead on the rail.
Yeah, up on that far rail, it's a difficult shot length of the table, but again, all he needs to do is clip this nicely, and it'll come out for the black.
Yeah,
back in that corner pocket.
Keep your cue straight off the rail here. Clip this 4 in big pocket out for the black. How are you looking, Steve? Well,
wow.
That's okay. That's okay. Because he would have had a pretty tough shot on the black. He came out quite a bit too far. See the whites run back into the middle of the table. He really wanted to hold up about another foot, really. He's probably run a foot too far for that nice easy black, so...
Yeah, with that leave on the white, this might be the better leave for Steve here, the better option, missing that shot. Ceri now looking intently, nodding his head as if to say, very good shot there, Steve.
Well, he would have. I think he would have rather it gone in as well and be watching Steve attempt that tough black, because he's in a bit of a tricky spot here. Bit of a shrug there from Ceri. He's a bit of a master at coming up with things from the unknown, but I'm not sure what he can come up with here. All right.
Ceri lining up the 9 here, guys.
Yeah, he's looking, coming off the cushion, face doubling it to the corner.
Oh, look at that. Manages to blow the 4 out as well. Might have left a free ball here, though.
He has. It was a great shot, though.
Ceri there intentionally coming off the wall into his own ball. The white then rebounding back off into the wall and knocking out the 4. Really, really good safety shot there. And he's left a free ball here, but still pretty tough.
All right, Steve taking the 8 ball as his free ball to the side.
Going to try and run in behind the 4 here for either the centre or this corner pocket.
He's there. That's a lovely shot from Steve.
As good a shot as that was from Ceri, this could be all over this frame.
Yeah, so taking nothing away from Ceri on that shot, it was a great shot to move that 4, but you do need a little bit of luck. And unfortunately, he gave away a free ball there, and Steve taking the black and then potting his 4, and now the black to the corner for a 3-2 lead. Great pull here, Patrick.
Look, honestly, it really is a real treat to be here watching these games. 4 players playing at the top of their game as Steve goes up 3-2. On the hill now. One more frame for Steve to make his maiden Clubs New Zealand singles nationals final. Yeah, we just had Adam Liley here behind us, everyone. Just congratulating him on his semi-final and a great showing. 4 clearances there in the first 5 frames in that semi. Steve Wild to break.
All right, folks, we're just about to see Steve Wild break the 6th frame. He's leading 3-2 against Ceri Worts. I'm joined here by Adam Liley, who's just come off his semi-final match with Steve Denton. Adam, look, great showing, mate. 18 years old, national semi-final. What can you take away from the tournament today?
Don't miss.
So Adam really hit the nail on the head there. You can't afford to miss a ball. He was potting superbly in the semi-final. Only missed a couple of shots, and Steve really punished him, but great showing. Well done, mate. I'm sure you'll be back for another championship match in no time at all, so well done. Thanks, Adam. Brief interview all the same. All right, back to the action. Steve Wild. Well, Pat, what have we missed here?
Steve's on the unders here, and he's got, again, a really nice looking table here. Ceri could be in trouble. Ceri supporters looking a bit worried here, with good reason.
All right, Steve Wild on the finish here. We've got the New Zealand Pairs champion, Simon Singleton, just standing alongside us in the comm box. Simon, Steve on a run out here. He's 3-2 up. What's the shot selection here? Is 3 to the side? What are we looking at here? Talk us through. Simon's just having a look at the layout of the table here. Steve opting for the 2 down to the corner by the looks of things. 6 in the middle. He's played it well. What's the transition here, Simon?
Get rid of the free balls in the middle of the table, I reckon, and then 3 in the corner around the back for the black in the same corner.
So Simon, yeah, sounds good to me. Sounds better to Steve if he can pull it off, because it will send him into the final. So Simon, how's he going to get? Obviously, he's going to just screw off the 7 a little bit to get a little bit of angle off the 2. How does he get off the 2 onto the 3 ball there?
Well, he wants to screw back to pretty much where the 7 is now. You can get the white to where the 7 is now. Freeze the natural angle. You just got to make sure he doesn't snooker himself. He's gone a little bit far there, I think. Oh no, he's okay. He's okay.
Big shot coming up here for Steve Wild. 3 balls to go, send him into his maiden Clubs New Zealand Singles Championship final. Simon also just suggesting Steve may just run this 2 ball through and find that gap between those balls for the 3. Oh, he's over there. Rush of blood there. Simon, what do you do now?
Prayer.
Well, you heard it there from our New Zealand Pairs champion. Apparently Steve's only got a prayer left now. He's snookered himself. No jump shots allowed.
Yeah, I can tell you folks at home, Ceri supporters really perked up with that missed positional shot there from Steve. He's going to have to do something quite special to get himself out of this now. We've already seen what Ceri can do with 1 missed shot.
Well, he's managed to hit the 3. But opportunity missed there for Steve Wild. Certainly a great chance to get himself into the final. May not get another one.
Yeah, and all these players in the semi-finals need to be thinking that way. At this stage, once you make it this far, you don't want to fall just 1 game short of that big dance.
Nice controlled shot there, first of all, from Ceri. Still got a bit of work to do. Just going back to Steve's shot on that ball to the side before, just a rush of adrenaline, bit of nerves, overhit it by a long way. He was trying to hold that gap in between the 10 ball and 13 ball to play the 3 to the corner. It's all gone now though, and Ceri
Just that 15 up the rail, Brett, seems to be Steve's
Yes.
only last hope here.
Well, he's looking at it now, but this is, again, fraught with danger because he's got to play this with enough pace to avoid the free ball here, Pat, in case he misses.
If he does miss, I don't think he'll leave Steve a very good fair shot, though.
Oh, it's there. It's there, but is he in this gap? Is he in the gap on the 14? Not sure if the 14 ball's on here. 10 ball will be on. Wow, folks. Wow.
Really opened the door here for Steve. Black easily passes down into that corner pocket. One good shot for Steve here, and he is in the final.
It was
just
almost
needs to pot this ball.
That's right, Pat. It was almost a shot to nothing for Ceri, but he just didn't quite get the weight right, and the 10's just come away from the hole. Big shot for Stevie Wild. It's there. Where's the white? Where's the white? Is he snookered by the 13?
No, I think that.
He's okay.
I think that passes, Brett. I think that
Wow,
passes.
Steve Wild
Perilously close to the
has
top
got one
pocket.
foot in the final.
Here we go, folks.
Just dribble it in. It's there.
It's done it
Well
well.
done, Steve Wild. Well, another great effort from Kerry Worts, but he just so close and yet so far. He'll be really disappointed, Pat. But take nothing away from Kerry. Tremendous showing, and I am really looking forward to this final. We've got two Steves: Steve Denton from Christchurch, Steve Wild from Porirua. Bring on the final, guys.